Hello friends, I am Chandan. This is my handwritten notes useful for GATE, ASC, SSC JE, ISRO, DRDO, BARC and other competitive exam. The PDF link is given on the description. You can download it from description. So let's try to understand what is microscopic and macroscopic approach of thermodynamics. So what is microscopic approach? Microscopic approach is that when individual molecule is taken into consideration. So what is macroscopic approach? In this approach of thermodynamics, the behavior of individual molecule it is taken into consideration, but normally it is not possible. So there is a system. Inside this system the individual molecule are taken into consideration, the behavior of individual molecule are taken into the consideration. Basically this is not possible because normally it is not possible, but this analysis is possible in case of rarefied gases. Okay, rarefied means analysis of low atmospheric pressure gas analysis and for space exploration analysis, and this is the most accurate analysis. This microscopic approach is most accurate analysis, and this microscopic approach is basically known as statistical approach. This approach is known as statistical approach. Okay, now let's try to understand macroscopic approach. This approach is known as classical approach. What is macroscopic approach? In this approach, the behavior of individual molecule are not taken into consideration, but the average behavior of molecule in the system is taken into consideration. This analysis is true with principle of continuum. So in macroscopic approach, the individual molecule are not taken into consideration, but the average behavior of individual molecule are taken into consideration. And this this analysis is true with principle of continuum. What is principle? Let's try to understand what is principle of continuum. So principle of continuum is that when mean free path is very less compared to system boundary, hence neglected. So what is mean free path? Mean free path is the average distance traveled by the molecule between two successive collisions. So this is known as mean free path. And second is that in the system there is no void and blank space. And third, the system is treated continuous throughout the boundary. So this is known as principle of continuum. Now let's try to understand state of the system. What is state of the system? State of the system means any condition of the system is known as state of the system. Suppose, focus on that. Suppose this is our system. System means where our study is focused. Suppose inside the system there is a gas is there, and consider that in for gas the pressure is P1, volume V1 and temperature T1. This is state 1. This is state 1. And suppose there is energy interaction or mass interaction is there. Due to this the pressure is going to P2 and temperature is T2 and volume is V2. So here this is state 2. So the change of state is known as process. When the state 1 is changing to state 2, so this is known as process. Okay, this is known as process. So what is written in this? Any condition of the system is known as state, and state is specified by properties of the system. The change of state is known as process. Okay, now let's understand what is thermodynamic equilibrium. A system is to be thermodynamic equilibrium when it is thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. These three conditions must be satisfied, then you can say that this is thermodynamic equilibrium. Thermodynamic equilibrium means there is equality of temperature. This is known as thermodynamic equilibrium. Mechanical equilibrium means, suppose consider this, there is any system. Consider this is there is any system, and inside this system there is no unbalanced force or pressure or torque is there. This is known as mechanical equilibrium. And inside the system, if there is a uniform chemical potential is there, no chemical reaction takes place, then you can say that this is the chemical equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium means uniform chemical potential or no chemical reaction takes place, then it is chemical equilibrium. So what is thermodynamic equilibrium? When there three equilibrium must be satisfied, that is thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, and and chemical equilibrium. These three conditions will be satisfied, then you can say that this is the thermodynamic equilibrium. The state of the system can only be defined when it is in thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, let's try to understand what is quasi-static process. Quasi-static process means it is a very slow process, infinitely slow or differential process. So let's try to understand it. Suppose there is a cylinder and here there is a piston is there. This is the initial position of this piston 1, and suppose in this piston inside this is the here this is our system. This is our system. The initial pressure, temperature, volume are given, that is pressure P1, volume V1, temperature T1. Now in this piston, when you gradually increase the weight on piston, so you can increase the weight this after this after this after this after this, then the piston gradually coming down. So after that this will goes to state to position and the pressure, temperature and volume will be changing. So if this process is in infinitely slow process or differential manner, then it is known as quasi-static process. And there is a graph is there. There is a graph is there. So this is the initial state, and this is the final state. The state is gradually changing. Slowly the state is changing. Slowly the state is changing. So this is known as quasi-static process. So what is quasi-static process? A process is said to be a quasi-static process when it takes infinitely slow or differential manner. A process is not quasi-static is known as non-quasi-static process. Now, in case of quasi-static process, the property of the system remains uniform through the process. All thermodynamic equilibrium will exist. So thermodynamic equilibrium means that is thermal equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, chemical equilibrium. Hence, we can define all the states means process. All the states means process. Okay. Okay. Thank you.